This is the NPCC uniform. Ensure that the sleeves of the shirt, the sides of the shirt, as well as the center of the shirt is nicely ironed. It should be very sharp and you should be able to see distinct creases. Iron the rest of the uniform flat and try not to iron over the buttons too much. For your pants, there are only two lines that matter. The front iron line and the back iron lines. Make sure that your pants only reach up to half your boot, which is approximately the third bootlace from the bottom. Make sure you get your pants altered if necessary. This is the front side view of your pants. Notice how my iron lines are standing up. This is a sign that they've been well creased, and they should do this when you're wearing the uniform as well. The first two iron lines should be straight and reach the insides of the first two belt loops. However, on the back of your uniform, the iron lines should meet in the center to form an inverted V. The apex should be at this point, right in the center of your pants. In this example, I'm going to show you how to pin your swimming badge onto your sleeve. The first thing you do when badge pinning is undo this lock at the back. This allows you to release this pin. As I will mention later, you should place your badge where it should be after pinned on. In this case, the bottom should be aligned with this fold here and with this iron line here. Placing my hand inside the sleeve, I use my thumb and forefinger to mark out where this notch is. This allows me to have a rough gauge of where I should pin my badge. Poking it through, I quickly see that I have poked in too far to the left and too far downwards. Using the hole left by this marking as a guide, I roughly know where to place my next pin. Now we've got it in the right place. We should slip it out a little bit so you can see a little bit of the metal. This ensures that while you're not pinching the material, you're getting as much of it as possible. Poke it out horizontally and fix it to the back of the badge. Now I've got it straight the first time, but that's just lucky. In the future, it may be very difficult to pin badges on the first attempt. Be prepared to try pinning badges up to 3 times. Another badge which you may come across in NPCC is similar to your SANA badge. This badge will just have a pin at the back, with a pin backing. Cadets who are in the 45th batch or above will most likely have a crime prevention badge that looks something like this. So how do we pin this badge on? First of all, remove the pin backing. Align your badge exactly where you want it to go, and after that, simply lift material off and poke the badge through. Secure the pin backing and make sure you hear a click so it'll stay in place. Great, now we know how to pin badges. Let's go ahead and pin on our first badge, which should be your name tag. Gauge about 1 cm distance from the top of the pocket to the bottom of the name tag. Now, it is perfectly straight, but the center of the name tag is also aligned perfectly with the center of the pocket. This is very important. Note that your name tag goes on above your right breast pocket, and that there should be a distance of about 1 cm. Because it's very long, the name tag is rather difficult to get straight on the first try, and you should be prepared to pin this badge several times. After pinning your name tag, the next badge which you will want to pin is your total defense. This can be either bronze, silver or gold. Make sure you use the right one. It should be about 3 finger spacing above your name tag. Note the 3-finger spacing and that the center of the total defense badge is always in line with the center of the breast pocket. There are only 3 badges which could possibly go between the top of your name tag and the bottom of your total defense. And they are SANA, Home Front Security, and National Heritage. These are in order from left to right, and they should always be maintained in that order. Always note that the center of the badge, or the central badge, should be aligned with the middle of the breast pocket. If you do not have any of these badges, then note that the total defense badge will move down until it is only 1 finger spacing away from the name tag. The bulk of your proficiency badges can be found above the left breast pocket. Note that these badges are pinned in order of increasing importance, from the right to the left, and from the bottom row to the top. Please take note of the order of importance. From the most important to the least important, they are the SPF NPCC badge, the Best Unit Cadet badge, the National Youth Achievement Award badge, the Police Youth Ambassador badge, the Police Knowledge badge, Community Safety and Security Program, Marksmanship, Survival Training Camp, Adventure Training Camp, Campcraft, and the least important badge is Road Safety. Cadets will usually earn these badges in increasing order of importance, making it relatively easy to pin this part of the uniform. Let's go ahead and try pinning some on. Here, I've identified 6 of the badges that could go above the left breast pocket. The first thing we should do is to arrange them in order of increasing importance. Road Safety is the least important, followed by Campcraft, Adventure Training, Marksmanship, CSSP, and finally, Police Knowledge. The maximum number of badges you can have in any row is 4, so these 2 will have to move on top. Remember that importance increases as you move up. But why have I placed these 2 in the center and not to the side? That's because anything on the left breast pocket must be centrally aligned. Therefore, you should draw an imaginary line passing straight up your uniform. Whatever's on the left must equal to what's on the right, regardless of whether it's half a badge or a full badge. Now that we know the general arrangement of these badges, let's go ahead and start pinning them on. The first badge that you should pin is either the badge directly to the right of the imaginary line, or the badge passing straight through this imaginary line. In this case, it's Campcraft, and therefore it will go directly to the right of the imaginary line. Notice that I'm using the same method that I described earlier. I'm going to go ahead and pin on the rest of the badges. The next badge to pin on would be the one directly to the right of that last badge. Using the same method, I'm going to pin on my road safety badge. All badges should just touch at their edges. They should not overlap and they should not be too far apart. All badges on the bottom row should also sit on this top line of the pocket. I'm going to go ahead and finish pinning the badges here. Now I finished pinning my badges. Notice how all of them just touch each other and they don't overlap. Also, all of them are sitting exactly on this line. The maximum number of badges in one row is 4, and now we have to move on to the second row of badges. This, in my case, is Police Knowledge and CSSP. Police Knowledge is more important than CSSP, and therefore we will pin CSSP first, as it is on the right. Note that the bottom of the CSSP badge should just touch the top of the Campcraft badge, and it should be perfectly in line. Finally, I'm going to pin on my Police Knowledge badge. The bottom of police knowledge is in line with the top of adventure training and is just touching the SSGT badge. Notice how now the entire badge arrangement is perfectly centralized. Whatever is on the right is on the left, and it is arranged in order of increasing importance. Next, we'll be pinning the badges on the left sleeve. There are only 3 badges that go here: crime prevention, your drill badge, and lastly, civil defense. These form a nice triangle, with the crime prevention badge going here, and the drill badge going somewhere above it. If you had a civil defense badge, it would go here, and align with the crime prevention badge and this seam line. However, since I don't have my civil defense badge on me, the drill badge will just align to this seam line. Note that the bottom of the crime prevention badge is directly in line with this seam line, while the side of the crime prevention badge is in line with this iron line. The bottom of the drill badge is in line with the top of the crime prevention badge and the same seam line. Let's go ahead and pin on the crime prevention badge. Now that the crime prevention badge is pinned on, we pin our drill badge above it. Note that the drill badge can either be green, yellow or red, denoting 3rd, 2nd or 1st class drills. It's important you use the right one, and we align it to the top of crime prevention and to the seam line by the side. If you've been pinning your uniform along with me, then your uniform should look something like this now. The next thing that we need to put on our uniform are the formation signs. These go on the left and the right sleeve, and they denote which unit you come from. They are unique to each unit, so treat them with respect. Simply place them on the Velcro and push down firmly. For the ACNP unit, make sure that your lines are facing forward. When you were issued with your uniform, you were given 7 buttons, 4 small ones and 3 larger ones. These are not to be washed to your uniform. The 4 smaller buttons go on your right and left breast pocket, as well as up here, securing your rank in place. It is worth taking note of the orientation of these small buttons. The breast pocket buttons should face downwards, making sure that they are right way up when you are wearing your uniform. However, the buttons up here by your rank should be facing outwards, so that someone looking from the side will be able to see the crest straight on. The first small button goes onto your right breast pocket. Simply turn the metal attachment until it pops right off the button. Lift up your flap, and don't take any shortcuts. It doesn't work. I've tried. Push the button through the pre-designated hole and simply slide on the metal ring afterwards. Now, do it up like a normal button and push it through this hole. And finally, secure these tiny pins in place. Do the same for your left breast pocket. The last 2 small buttons go up here with your rank. Slide your rank onto the shoulder lapels. Undoing your 3rd and 4th buttons, push them first through the hole on the flap and then through the hole on the uniform. Lastly, use your metal ring to secure them all in place. Lastly, you should also have 3 larger buttons. These buttons have a similar attachment to those of the smaller button, except that they go in different places. The 3 larger buttons should go right down the center of your uniform, starting with this first hole up here. Push the back of the button through and secure it in place with this metal ring. Do the same for the other 2. It is worth taking note that these 3 buttons should have the same orientation as those of your breast pocket. They should all be facing the right way up, so that someone looking at you from the front will see the crest straight on. With that, you finish preparing your NPCC uniform. Wear it with pride. It's our uniform.